Hello everyone and welcome to the New York Empoleon's Week 9 Team Builder for the APA Evolution Season 1 League on Showdown. We are actually doing very well in this league. I'm like legitimately surprised. I did have the #1 overall pick and I was able to form a team I wanted to form, but still that's pretty surprising to me. So we're going to keep trying to pursue the overall #1 seed. That's still very much in our grasp. It is something that if I win the rest of the matches, I am the #1 seed in the league, which would be incredible. And otherwise, we're just going to keep on playing the games we got to play and hoping to have a good time. My opponent this week is A12QSD, a coach of the Arkham City Delibirds, and oh my god, is this an interesting matchup. His team, which has a million mons on it, is Scolipede, Clefable, Crobat, Thundurus T, Mega Charizard Y, Latios, Diggersby, Volcanion, Cutiefly, Gabite, Delibird, and Fungus, with Scolipede, Cutiefly, Gabite, Delibird, and Fungus being Z users on his team. So, wow. That's an interesting one. If I looked, I always make a weakness chart of my opponent's teams, and everything on his team is weak to either rocks or ice or both except Clefable, which is kind of ridiculous. So the only mon on my team that gets access to both rock move and an ice move that isn't using a hidden power slot is Nidoqueen. So that's what we're going to be leading off with this week. It's going to be Life Orb, offensive Nidoqueen, Rock Slide, Ice Punch, Poison Jab, and Sucker Punch. The idea behind this Nidoqueen, as you're going to see in a minute, is going to be to get it boosted and get it attacking. So I'll explain the boost in a sec. Obviously, you guys can look at my team and probably figure out where that's going to be coming from. But this thing's idea is to get it to +2 attack and then just be able to kill things very effectively. Honestly, Nidoqueen has such a good matchup against him as long as Latios is down, or if I'm at +2, Latios is chipped, and I can Sucker Punch it to oblivion. So that is going to be what Nidoqueen we're rocking this week. It is going to be very offensive, physical Nidoqueen this week. Next up we have Ditto. Ditto is going to be an Hidden Power Rock variant, so I am able to hit most of his team with that Hidden Power Rock, especially the things that might be running Hidden Powers, like the Charizard, the Thundurus, the Latios. I mean, I don't know if Latios is going to be running, or it's not weak to Rock, but like, it's got other moves to hit itself. Opting for the Quick Claw this week. Probably should have gone Scarf. Not going to lie, Scarf may be better than Quick Claw, but I don't love the idea of getting locked into a move. But I'll talk to you guys tomorrow if I do decide to swap that over to the Scarf, which is something that I'm still considering at the time of recording this. Ditto gives me so much information about his team. If he does bring the Cutiefly, it gives me access to webs of my own, which webs do kind of screw with me a little bit, so I'd rather them not exist. And it does give me access to his Scolipede, to his Thundurus, to information, stuff like that. So that's the Ditto we're going to be rocking out with this week. Next up we have the Druddigon, which is going to be Rocky Helmet with the Rough Skin, Glare, Stealth Rock, Rock Slide, and Dragon Tail. Again, still workshopping this set. I think Dragon Tail is going to stay, but I do want to see if Dragon Claw is better. But Dragon Tail, just phasing with rocks against his team is so good that I probably will just stick with that. I am physically defensive to take on his physical threats like Crobat, Scolipede, Diggersby, etc. And try to whittle those down, maybe glare a few things, get some paras. It'll be nice and Druddigon-y, you know, whatever. Next up is Joshua the Scizor, which is going to be Focus Sash with Roost, Swords Dance, Baton Pass, and Bullet Punch. It didn't need anything but Bullet Punch once the Volcanion and the Megazard Y go down. In all honesty, and Focus Sash allows me to force a switch on something like the Clefable or the Diggersby that's chipped, or the Scolipede, Swords Dance in his, right there, right there, Baton Pass into my Nidoqueen, which should be able to take any fire hit aimed at the Scizor, and then Nidoqueen should be able to just kind of rampage through his entire team. And then I have Scizor left to Bullet Punch anything that's left. If I do get chipped down by Stealth Rock or something, Roost allows me to reset the Sash, which is super great. Things like that. So I don't have to worry too much about it. Bullet Punch, honestly, is amazing coverage, and at +2 or even +4, which sometimes this gets to in mocks, it's just running through his entire team. Next up is the Rotom, which is going to be my basically de facto check to Diggersby. Thunderbolt, Hidden Power, Ice, Will-O-Wisp, and Light Screen. I would love to burn the Diggersby. It's not a great check since Diggersby does get knockoff, but it is what I've got in all honesty. It resists or is immune to both of his stabs, and Diggersby is such a big threat to my team. I am running a specially defensive Rotom instead of a physically defensive Rotom because I do have access to the Will-O-Wisp, and this thing is also designed to sort of check, like soft check things like the Thundurus, the Megazard Y, and the Volcanion, which are much harder to check if I don't have those sort of offensive coverage options, or those defensive coverage options, I mean by being specially defensive. So, sort of a catch-all, maybe trying to do too much with a Mon that doesn't do that much, but it is what it is. Hopefully Rotom is able to prove itself and put in a ton of work this week. And lastly, we do have Gardevoir, which is going to be holding the Kievia Berry because most of the ways he would try to hit me are going to be poison between the Scolipede and the Crobat, in the Fungus, you know, like he's got a lot of, it's the Volcanion using Sludge Wave, but he's got a lot of ways to hit me that are poison, so I figured Kievia Berry is a better item. Trace allows me to do the same thing that Ditto does, where I take the Thundurus T's ability or the Volcanion's ability and go from there, or even Magical Art Clefable, so I can't be toxic, things like that, or Speed Boost from the Scolipede, since I can take a hit from the Kievia Berry and then Psychic it back and kill it. This thing also has access to the Ice and Rock coverage in Icy Wind and Hidden Power Rock, and then the dual stabs were just incredible coverage for his team between the 4 of these moves. It was awesome. I thought about running an Assault Vest, but since some of his physical threats like Scolipede and Crobat do have the poison coverage, I figured the Kievia Berry would just be more generally reliable, and we do have enough speed on this. I know I didn't talk about speed stats much, but we do have a bunch of speed on this, and it's actually enough to kind of just outspeed things that are speed creeping. So while it does outspeed an Adamant Diggersby, which is a big deal to me, but I also have a little bit more than that in case he does run Jolly to try to speed creep me, outspeeding Adamant. And so I decided to actually just outrun a Adamant Gabite, since that is what speed stat I'm going to hit, and it just made sense to try to run with that. Additionally, this thing can outspeed a Crobat at -1 if I Icy Wind on the switch, so I can utilize that particular contingency as well, so that speed stat also happened to do that. So that's why I decided to go with 264. You'll see it on both this and the Nidoqueen and stuff like that. So hopefully this match goes well. This is a weird team, and he's very comfortable with it. He's been playing pretty well, so I do have to watch out for his team and for his prep, but I hope that I can pull through. I should have the Mons to do it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow as we take on A12 and the Arkham City Delibirds. Take care, everybody.